Okay. Good afternoon, student. Now, today we are going to learn the new topic that is material cost. Now, the students, the last lecture we the study the reconciliation statements. Okay, the few lectures, few practical sums were already conducted um in the particular lectures. Now, the this is also one of the very important chapters as per the material cost is concerned, and as all of you know that we already studied the cost sheet, and when you go for the cost sheet, if you see the first part, that is a prime cost, and in prime cost the material is the prime, it is a part of the prime cost. And as all of you know that what is the importance of material. Okay, now generally when you go for the material, now when you're talking about the material means when you go for the production process, and as all of you know that what is the importance of material. Okay, because material, without material productions will not be happen. Okay, so this is a major component, we can say that this is a major component of the prime cost. Now earlier when you go for the earlier syllabus, uh, that times the material importance means only cost sheets, with the help of the cost sheet will comes to know what is the materials, and that's it. Even in case of at the TY become level, I think that in case purchasing and storekeeping, you have this the important aspects you will learn about the purchasing and how you procuring the material. The what are the different procedures for the procurement of material, inventory, the valuation, and so on. That means store ledgers, preparation of store ledgers, preparation of the important documents. So these are the very important parts, and that you learn in that particular purchasing and storekeeping subject. Now, student, on the basis of costing, the costing base, how will arrive the material cost? What are the different elements of the material cost? These are all the we're going to the learn from this the particular topic. As per this, your syllabus is concerned, of the particular topic, when you go for the material cost is a one separate topic, one separate chapter is there in semester 5. And in this case of the semester 5, you will get going to be learn the what is called as what is a procurement procedure, what is the store procurement procedure, what is all the different documents in respect of the receipts and issue of the stock and stock verification. Then inventory control, there are different techniques of the inventory control we're going to learn. The different inventory control, that is a minimum level, maximum level, reorder level, economic order quantity, and ABC classification also going to learn in details with the help of this topic. Then as far as this topic is concerned, the inventory accounting going to learn that again, that is the one part of your this particular chapters, and some practical sums we're going to see. As per the concept wise practical sums you're going to see in this particular chapter to clear your all of the concepts of uh, clarification of the concept. That means we're going to learn that for inventory turnover ratio also, the calculation of economic order quantity is also one part, economic order quantity. Then the preparation of the store ledger and valuation of inventory, that is based on FIFO and weighted average cost method. That entire we're going to learn from this particular chapter. Now, students, of course, the every chapters have some learning objective. That means at the end of the chapters, you comes to realize that whether these all the objectives are the fulfilled or not. That you're going to learn at the end of this the particular chapter. And what you're going to learn from this particular chapter? What is the learning objective of this topic or chapters? After studying this topic, you should be able to understand the basic principle of material control. You're going to learn about to study the procedure of purchasing, storing, and issuing. What are the different procedure of purchase, storing, and issues? And you're going to acquaint with the latest techniques in inventory control. What are the different technique, inventory control techniques that you're going to learn from this particular chapter? Again, to understand the pricing of the issues, the pricing issues that you're going to learn from this particular chapter. Okay. Now, what is a material? What is the importance of this material? What is a material from the students? You see the specifically if you see
चड्डी घाल शिरशा गं येड्यागत किती मूर्खागत करते शिरशा चड्डी घाल
Okay. So the material generally used in the manufacturing concerns refers to the raw material used for the production and sub-assemblies parts. Okay. So what is the material, students? The materials term material generally used in the manufacturing concern. It is refers to the raw material used for the production and some assemble as a part. That means generally we're talking about the material means that is a raw material. Understand? That is basically we study about the raw material. What is the raw material? Is that? And stores, when you go for the term stores, the stores in a company comprise many other items besides the raw material, such as tool, equipments, maintenance required, repair items, factory supplies, components, fixtures. Sometimes the finished goods and partly finished goods are also included in the scope of these items. The material, that means when you're talking about the materials means the generally used in the manufacturing concern, okay, and the store, which is the generally other than the raw material, basically tools, that is called a tools, equipments, maintenance, factory supplies, component, etc. Now, the material control. Now, see the very important thing, students. Our the major component of the cost is on the material. Okay. When you go for the material cost, always the major component is on the basis of the what is called as the material. That is a major part of the cost. Okay. Now, when you go for the material cost, therefore it is absolutely essential to control the cost because costing, basically the costing, the main aim of the costing is to, what is the main aim of the costing is to control the cost, and that's what this costing is there. Okay, so basically to control the cost is one of the major objective of the cost accounting. Therefore, whenever you go for the cost accounting, that means material cost, of course, the first aim of this is to control the material cost. It is to control the material cost. How are you going to control the material cost? Not only material control cost, but there is a proper utilization of the materials. Whatever the material is a purchase, that you have to again, that is you have to check it that here how you the whatever the material you purchase, that is whether that is a properly what is called as utilized for the particular production or not. That is very important part, because whatever the investment you made in material, that is by way of cost, that is the amount, is a huge amount of cost you are investing the material in the particular. And in this case, that means always you have to see whether that particular material, whether it is a particular properly purchasing control. That means whether you purchase, whenever you purchase the raw materials, the many time you purchase the raw material, whenever you go for the material acquisition or procurement of the material. Now in this case, there are different steps are there. The industries are required to follow the important steps, okay, in this case. Now when you go for the particular procurement of material, that means what is the strategy? Yes, for example, what is the steps they are required to follow? First of all, they find out the list of the suppliers. They ask for the quotations. Yes or no? They ask for the different quotation of the same quantity and same units, the quantity units, they ask for the quotation. Then comparison of the quotation, they compare the what is the quantity, what is the price per unit, the material price per unit. Then they see what is the taxes involvement in this case. Then see the what is the other additional costs charged by the supplier. Okay, by considering all this stuff, considering all the aspects of the pricing, at the same time, you always have to check that whether the particular the suppliers, so location of the supplier, you again have to check as external factor. You always have to see the what is the loyalty of the particular the what is the goodwill and what is the loyalty of the particular suppliers. You'll see whether they are a prudent supplier, whether they are regular suppliers, whether they are very much that means keen about to supplying the goods on the particular prompt time. The promptness and times and sincerity again I have to check. That is aspect I have to check, because what happens sometimes whenever you go for the particular when you receive one order from the customer, and if you're not meet the demand of the customer, that is adversely affected your reputation. Understand that you again you have to check the particular supplier. They have the very good sincere supplier, regular supplier, okay, and reliable supplier. That is a very important point, because they supplying the whether they're proper goods or the proper units or they okay, that again you have to check, because that is a oral aspect on of course that is a really affected on your quality and your service and your goodwill to the customers. So this type of the, that means whenever you go for the purchasing, that means of course uh, you have to check the comparison of the what is called as we can say the comparison of the different quotations received from the different suppliers, and according to that you will select one most proper quotation. That quotations where the quality of the material not be deteriorated. We're not talking about the quality reductions. We consider, we seeing the quality control. Understand the cost control. That two aspects you see. Now in this case, we're not moving to the cost reduction. We're moving to the cost control. We're stick with the cost control. Okay, understand. Now in this case, very much we have to see that. Uh, in this case, we have to see that the comparison of the price. Whenever you compare the price, we always have to see the quality of the product. You have to always see the quality of the particular product. The same units when it is available at a lower rate, that is you go for the preferable to purchase this code. Therefore, the purchasing control, that is a very important part, is one of the very important aspects of material control. The student second type, that means once you purchase the material, you always have to check the store control. Store control is one of the very, very important part. That means storing the particular material in the proper place, that is really very, very challenging. If you're not, if you purchase the huge, the cost involvement, the material, you spend crores of rupees on purchasing raw materials and you're not kept separately or securely, so there is a no use of that your particular your whatever the money you invested, that is absolutely the wastage, and that will be definitely the what you call as drastically or you can be adversely affected on your overall cost. Understand? Therefore, the storing, that is really very, very important. Storing is really very challenging job. Understand? So how you store, how you control the storing cost, that is also very, very important. Understand? So so that is a really very, very important task. That means whenever you purchase the material and whenever you what is called as the storing stores of the material, that is also very, very challenging as far as this the particular this thing is concerned. So storing, that is once you purchase the material, storing, and storing involve the very that means again that is include the many the cost which is related to your purchase. That is storing cost is there, carrying cost is there, okay, loading unloading cost is there, transportation cost is there, involvement, warehouse cost is there. In case of the warehouse, there are different the warehouse salaries, warehouse rent, warehouse electricity. There are many costs which is connected with the storing. Therefore, in this case, you have to see the storing control. That is again the one of the very important part as far as the material control is concerned. And the last one, student, the issue control. Issue control means what? What does it means? It means that if you once you store the particular material, then again that means as per the requirement of the production department, you have to issue the particular material. Okay, the material control basically the aims at efficient purchasing of the material. That is number one. Second, the efficient storing. How you store the particular efficiently storing of the material, whatever the material you purchase, and then efficient use of the or use or the consumption. Because anyway, that means the material, you can say the natural resources. Okay, whatever, even though you have the the money to purchase it, but dear students, this is nothing but the natural resources. In terms of not in case of the industries, the production industry, but as well as the human being in our day-to-day regular activities also, efficiently utilization of the material or whatever the goods we purchase or whatever the things we purchase for our personal consumption, that again you have to learn how you efficiently use or how you efficiently consume the particular material, that you have to check. Okay, this is nothing but that is the natural resources of the country. You have to use properly. Therefore, in case of the material control, these are the three important aspects is there. And on the basis of that, we're going to each and every individual aspects to study separately. Understand? That you're going to learn one by one. Okay? So now one by one, that is see the what is the material controls. We know what is the aspects of material control. Now we move toward the what is called as okay. Now we move toward the what is the objective of the material control. Why this? Why this? The material control is so important. What is the objective of the material control? Now, students, the materials. The first objective material of the desired quality should be available when needed for the efficient and uninterrupted production. Okay. Then desired quantity should be available when needed for the efficient uninterrupted production. That means you always have to check that whether there is sufficient material should be available, because what happens sometimes due to non-availability of the material, what will be going to happen? What going to be what going to be happen? Understand? So that again you have to check very well, because you have to check there should be some sufficient material should be available in store department. So whenever there is a requirement of the production department, the material should be available, and because of this, there will be no stoppage of the production. Understand? There is no stoppage of the production. So you always have to check that there should be the material continuously available for the production purpose. Okay. Second one is the material should be purchased only when it is needed and most economic quantity, in most economic quantity, that you're going to learn about the economic order quantity. Okay. So therefore you always have to check the material should be purchased only when it is needed. The underline this point, very important point. जब भी जरूरत है तभी ही उसको परचेस करना है. Okay. Because sometimes what happens, students, because I have started my business, and I started with the business with the 5 lakh rupees of capital. And out of the 5 lakh capitals, I require the planter machine for the production. I require the any other equipments, okay, required for the particular purpose. I require the office on rent or factory on the rent. Same times, the major component, that is a material, labor, and direct expenses. Now, if I say spend out of 5 lakhs, 4 lakhs on material, and then material going to use for the throughout the year, so you are blocking your material, your cost in material only. That means your 90% material cost. 90% your investment is a block in your material cost. And there's no such use, because optimization or a proper allocation fund is also very, very important. So you purchase the material as per the requirement only, because once you receive the product order from the production department, or whenever the production department receive the order from the customer, accordingly they approach to the store department. So your store department में आपका material उतना ही होना चाहिए. That should be so the material should be purchased when it is needed and in most economic quantity. Economic quantity means what, student? You have to purchase the material in a such a way that should not be overloaded. अंडरस्टैंड, ओवर परचेज यू कैन से, मीन्स उतना ही परचेज करो जितना रिक्वायर्ड है। ओके, और मैं ऐसा भी बोलता हूँ कि इतना ही नहीं परचेज करना है कि देयर शुड बी ओवर एंड अबव कुछ होना चाहिए, कि मुझे अगर 500 यूनिट्स लगता है मटेरियल का तो उतना ही 500 लाना क्या नहीं है स्टूडेंट्स। समटाइम्स यू हैव टू परचेस मोर रिलेटेड टू 700 या 800 यूनिट्स लाना है, बिकॉज so sometimes what happen, emergency you require the material, so you have to purchase the material in most economic quantity. In most economic quantity means kya, the quantity where which is not carrying the much over cost, which cannot be you can say the carrying cost, which should not be carrying any loading cost or transportation cost. Okay, so economic order quantity mein lana hai, the economic quantity order quantity that is going to learn in a particular separate sub topic hai, uske upar hum practical sum bhi lene wale hai student. So economic order quantity, that is absolutely very important in as far as the material cost is concerned. Third objective of this objective material control is purchasing of material will be made at the most favorable prices under the best possible terms. Purchasing of material will be made at the most favorable prices under the best possible term. Okay, it should be most favorable prices first and under the best possible terms. Okay, under the best possible terms means, so purchasing of material will be made at the most favorable prices under the best possible terms. Okay, the favorable prices and the best possible terms. That means you have to check that you're going to, that is more and related to your economic order quantity. You have to purchase in a such a way, in a such a lot which is carrying the minimum carrying cost and ordering cost or transportation cost. Understand? So you have to purchase in a such a way, in a such a quantity, in a specified quantity to minimize your carrying cost, ordering cost, purchasing cost, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Now this is one of the objective of your material control cost. Then materials are protected against the loss by fire, theft, animal. This is also one part of your, we can say, this is the part of your material control cost. This is also objective of material cost. You must have to protect your material. You always have to keep the material in a such a way, in a such a store that should be protected by the fire, theft, and animals. Okay, you have to take care of your material because which is include your the maximum proportion of your prime cost. Then the next objective is issue of materials are authorized properly and are accounted, or should be accounted. Should be, so it is to be authorized properly. That means at a different level, in different departments are there. Okay, purchase department, store department, production department. Okay, these are the related to correlated to each that we finance department, which is related to your procurement of the material and the purchasing of material and storing of the material and the cost involvement in the particular the material. Therefore, it should be authorized by the properly. It should be go to the step by steps, authorized by the step by steps, and it should be accounted. It should be counted because which is a consistent of or consist of the maximum proportion of cost. You can say the prime cost. Understand? So these are the objective of what is called as material control. Now, right from the beginning, अगर हमने जहाँ से शुरुआत करते हैं material की, when you go for the material, you always start with the purchase. What is called as purchasing. Purchasing करके, if you see the purchasing, means it is start from the purchasing and sending to the production department for the consumption. This is the entire process of your material. Now, at the initial stage, the first step is called as purchasing. Now, what is the purchasing? How you purchasing the material? There are procedure. Now, what is the purchasing procedure? Now, first one, that is the first document is what to raise. That is called a purchase requisition. Now, what is a purchase requisition? It is a form known as purchase requisition. It is commonly used as a format requesting the purchase department to purchase the required material. Now, जरूरत कभी आती है जब भी फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दे शुड बी अ डिमांड फ्रॉम द कस्टमर. मुझे कस्टमर से डिमांड मिलना चाहिए. ओके, मुझे फॉर एग्जांपल कस्टमर XYZ कस्टमर से मुझे डिमांड मिला कि इतना यूनिट्स मुझे सप्लाई करना है, प्रोड्यूस करके, प्रोडक्शन करके। फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम द मैन्युफैक्चरर ऑफ अम्ब्रेला, अम्ब्रेला का मैन्युफैक्चर मैं करता हूँ, आई एम अ मैन्युफैक्चरर ऑफ अम्ब्रेला, और मुझे XYZ कंपनी से कंपनी से मुझे ऑर्डर मिला 100 अम्ब्रेला का, 100 अम्ब्रेला का मुझे ऑर्डर मिला स्टूडेंट। ना 100 अम्ब्रेला का ऑर्डर जब भी मिला तो मैं क्या करूंगा सेल्स मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट को, सेल्स डिपार्टमेंट को किसके लिए जाऊंगा, कि प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट के लिए जाऊंगा, कि कहाँ पे जाऊंगा स्टूडेंट, कहाँ पे जाना है जस्ट। So the purchase requisition is commonly used as a format requesting the purchase department to purchase the required material. Now, when I receive the order from the umbrella, कस्टमर से मिला अम्ब्रेला मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, आई एम मैन्युफैक्चर अम्ब्रेलाज एंड मुझे मिला ऑर्डर, तो मैं क्या करूंगा पहले, मैं कहाँ पे अप्रोच करूंगा पहले, ओके पहले प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट को मैं आई विल सेंड द रिक्वेजिशंस, रिक्वेजिशंस इन द सेंस में ऑर्डर करूंगा कि इतना प्रोडक्शन करना है। तो प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट क्या करेगा, प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट सेंड द रिक्वायरमेंट फॉर द स्टोर डिपार्टमेंट, स्टोर डिपार्टमेंट में देखेगा कि व्हाट आर द अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ द मटेरियल रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ऑफ द अम्ब्रेला। एंड वंस वी रिक्वायर दी परचेसिंग, स्टोर डिपार्टमेंट में देखेंगे तो स्टोर डिपार्टमेंट देखा कि मेरे पास इतना सफिशिएंट मटेरियल नहीं है, तो क्या करेगा, दे अप्रोच इमीडिएटली टू परचेस डिपार्टमेंट, किसको अप्रोच करेगा, परचेस डिपार्टमेंट। तो परचेस डिपार्टमेंट प्रिपेयर दी परचेस रिक्वेजिशंस, परचेस रिक्वेजिशन स्टोर डिपार्टमेंट टू परचेस डिपार्टमेंट, परचेस डिपार्टमेंट को परचेस रिक्वेजिशन देने के बाद में नॉर्मली द परचेस रिक्वेजिशन इशू बाय द स्टोर डिपार्टमेंट, कहा कौन इशू करता है, स्टोर डिपार्टमेंट, बिकॉज स्टोर डिपार्टमेंट में अवेलेबिलिटी पता चलता है कि कितना मटेरियल अवेलेबल है, and on the basis of that the store departments approach to purchase department for by placing the purchase requisition कि these are the quantities required, we receive the order from the production department कि इतना मटेरियल चाहिए और इतना मटेरियल हमें परचेस करना पड़ेगा, इतना अवेलेबल है और इतना परचेस करने का, दिस इज रिक्वायरमेंट, परचेस रिक्वायरमेंट मटेरियल टू द, okay. Then second, select the suitable suppliers, you have to select the suitable supplier, that is really very important part, कि ऐसा नहीं कि दैट मींस अगर मुझे रॉ मटेरियल परचेस करना है तो इमीडिएटली XYZ पर्सन के पास में जाके इमीडिएटली ए बाबा ये पहले परचेस कर दो, जैसे किराना किराना की दुकान में कैसे हम जाते हैं कि परचेस करने के लिए, ऐसा थोड़ी होता है, ऐसा नहीं होता है यहाँ पे, ऐसा नहीं होता है यहाँ पे। व्हाट यू मींस, इसमें क्या होता है स्टूडेंट्स, आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा, ओके इसमें आपको सप्लायर्स पहले फाइंड आउट करने पड़ेंगे, यू मस्ट टू सिलेक्ट द सप्लायर्स, suitable supplier, use the word, that is the correct word, suitable suppliers, you have to choose the suitable suppliers students। suitable suppliers means क्या, कैसे पता चलेगा, तुम्हारा रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट डिपार्टमेंट जो है दे आर गोइंग फॉर दैट, वो देखेगा कौन से सप्लायर्स अवेलेबल है नियर बाय, मेरे प्रोडक्शन फैक्ट्री के नजदीक कौन से सप्लायर्स है, दैट यू विल सी, आई विल सी दैट, understand, so these are the different, okay, suppliers they will find out and they ask for the requisition, then again what is called as quotation, you can use the word of quotation। quotation क्या होता है, what is a quotation, परचेस ऑर्डर से ब्रीफली उनका रिक्वायरमेंट है जो इनवाइट करेंगे, इनवाइट करने के बाद में दैट मींस व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट वन, क्या करेंगे, आफ्टर रिसीव द परचेस रिक्वेजिशन द परचेस डिपार्टमेंट प्लेस एन ऑर्डर विद द सप्लायर, सप्लायर को ऑर्डर करेंगे, ऑफर टू द सर्टेन मटेरियल, उसमें क्या क्या रिक्वायरमेंट रहेगा कि इतना क्वांटिटी ऑफ मटेरियल एंड प्राइस एंड टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस, इसके पहले दे आस्क फॉर दी, इसके पहले मुझे परचेज रिक्वेजिशन जो है वो स्टोर डिपार्टमेंट पहले परचेज डिपार्टमेंट को देखा उस कितना क्वांटिटी चाहिए करके, देन अकॉर्डिंगली द पर्सन, द परचेज डिपार्टमेंट इनवाइट द कोटेशंस फ्रॉम द डिफरेंट सप्लायर, and once they receive the quotation from the different supplier they will find out, compare it, कंपेयर करेंगे। अभी जैसे मोबाइल फोन परचेस करने के लिए गए तो एक ही दुकान में नहीं जाके मोबाइल फोन नहीं लेंगे, you will go for the different suppliers, you will go to the online the sellers and find out the reasonable and what is called as proper supplier जो आप देखेंगे जिसमें प्रॉपर मॉडल देखेंगे, ऐसा नो, तो ये सब चीज देखने के बाद में यू गो फॉर दी परचेसिंग। तो ऐसे ही सप्लाई, पहले सप्लायर को कोटेशन से इनवाइट करेंगे, वो कोटेशन से हम देखेंगे क्वांटिटी कितना है, उसका प्राइजेस कितना उसने चार्ज किया है, दैट विल चेक। ये सब चेक करने के बाद में स्टूडेंट्स वो सी ऑफर इनटू द स्टेटेड मटेरियल एंड स्टेटेड प्राइस एंड टर्म्स। ओके, उसके बाद में स्टूडेंट्स, however before issuing the purchase orders and quotations may be invited from the various supplier for arriving at the best deal. Okay. However, तो परचेस ऑर्डर देने से पहले हम क्या करेंगे, वो कंपेयर इट द सप्लायर्स, उसमें जो सुटेबल सप्लायर हो फाइंड आउट करेंगे, एंड देन वी प्लेस परचेस ऑर्डर। तो परचेस ऑर्डर इज डिफरेंट। परचेस ऑर्डर में क्या क्या होता है स्टूडेंट, परचेस ऑर्डर में सेम आपका क्वांटिटी कितना है, क्वांटिटी कितना है, उसका रेट क्या है, जो रेट तो ऑलरेडी सप्लायर ने मेंशन किया है रिक्वेजिशन में, ऑर्डर में। ओके, उसके बाद में एडिशनल कॉस्ट क्या चार्ज करता है सप्लायर, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट क्या है, अदर चार्जेस क्या है, ये सब देने के बाद डिस्काउंट कितना ऑफर कर रहा है, ये सब चीज देखने के बाद में वो अराइव कि सिलेक्ट करते हैं सुटेबल सप्लायर को। सिलेक्ट करने के बाद में वी प्लेस द ऑर्डर, वो डायरेक्टली परचेस ऑर्डर प्लेस करेंगे। देन परचेस ऑर्डर प्लेस करने के वी शुड सिलेक्ट अ सप्लायर। परचेस ऑर्डर इज अ लीगल डॉक्यूमेंट and it is resulted into contract between the company and the supplier. That means once you place the order to the supplier, this is a legal authenticate document. That means if which is not, अगर एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया है तो पहले सिलेक्ट करने के बाद में परचेज ऑर्डर प्लेस करने के लिए सप्लायर बोलेगा कि यू प्लेस द ऑर्डर। तो अगर वो एग्री करता है कि परचेस ऑर्डर प्लेस करने के लिए बोलता है, तो दैट इज अ लीगल डॉक्यूमेंट्स। अगर ये परचेस ऑर्डर करने के बाद में अगर वो नहीं सप्लाई करता है, तो दैट इज अ ब्रीच ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, दैट इज कॉल्ड ब्रीच ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, एंड लीगल टर्म में उसके ऊपर आप यू कैन सू इट, एंड दिस इज अ लीगल डॉक्यूमेंट्स, परचेस ऑर्डर होता है। ओके, तो परचेस ऑर्डर को लीगल डॉक्यूमेंट्स ये करार दिया है ना। वो होने के बाद में आपने परचेस ऑर्डर प्लेस किया मटेरियल सप्लायर को। परचेस ऑर्डर प्लेस करने के बाद में आपने क्या किया स्टूडेंट्स, परचेस ऑर्डर प्लेस करना एक्सेप्ट किया, सप्लायर अभी क्या करेगा, सप्लाई करेगा गुड्स, मटेरियल सप्लाई करेगा। तो रिसीविंग द मटेरियल, रिसीविंग डिपार्टमेंट है वहाँ पे, रिसीविंग डिपार्टमेंट जो रिसीव करेगा। Receiving department perform the functions of unloading the and unpacking material which are received by the organization. जो भी मटेरियल आपको मिलेगा वो रिसीव डिपार्टमेंट रिसीव करेगा, उसको अनलोड करेगा, अनपैक करेगा, चेक करेगा वेदर दैट इज अ करेक्ट और नॉट, प्रॉपर है क्या नहीं है, बराबर बोला है, जो यूनिट हमने मेंशन किया था, मटेरियल जो मेंशन किया था वही मटेरियल है क्या नहीं, वो कंफर्म करेगा। Then approval of the invoice, and along with that there are two important documents sent by the supplier. सप्लाई दो इंपॉर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट सेंड करता है। कौन सा डॉक्यूमेंट सेंड करता है, कोई बताएगा कौन से? फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने मोबाइल फोन परचेस किया, तो मोबाइल फोन में या टीवी परचेस किया, ऑनलाइन टीवी लिया, तो ऑनलाइन टीवी के बाद में या ऑनलाइन कोई गुड्स होता है उसके बाद में दो इंपॉर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स रहते हैं। बोलो कौन से इंपॉर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स रहते हैं स्टूडेंट्स, टेल मी व्हाट आर द इंपॉर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स, कौन से इंपॉर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स है, कोई बताएगा आप में से? आपके गुड्स के साथ में दो डॉक्यूमेंट्स आते हैं, टू इंपॉर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स कम, व्हाट इज दैट? ये स्टूडेंट्स एनीवन, कोई बताएगा? कोई बताएगा स्टूडेंट, व्हाट इज द इंपॉर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स? यस, नो मैन, ट्राई करो, ट्राई करो स्टूडेंट। There are two important documents, that is first one document is called as invoice. Invoice is more or less which is a similar to your purchase order. Purchase order और invoice में difference नहीं है, understand? Now in this case, just one minute. So approval of the invoice means कैसा है कि purchase orders and invoice में there is no difference between two because both are the same. When you placing the order, the same things was given. Warranty cards very good. Warranty is a part of your invoice because invoice में ही दिया रहता है कि कितना वारंटी है. ओके, वारंटी कार्ड स्पेशली फॉर द कंज्यूमेबल गुड्स के लिए वारंटी कार्ड भी दिया जाता है, इक्विपमेंट्स के लिए भी जाता है. ओके, सो इनवॉइस वारंटी दिस इज वन थिंग या टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन हो दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ योर इनवॉइस. And second document that is called a challan. Challan is purely for quantity, where we require only the quantity, the goods. Whenever it is a dispatch from the supplier or when you receive from the received by the customer, then always there is a one challan is there, challan of the goods. The difference between the invoice and challan is the invoice consists of the cost, but challan is only consists of the quantity. The quantity, for example, आपने मोबाइल फोन लिया तो मोबाइल फोन वन क्वांटिटी मोबाइल फोन ऑफ सो एंड सो मॉडल चलान. लेकिन इनवॉइस में क्या आएगा, योर नेम, इसमें भी नेम वगैरह सब आएगा, खाली इसमें कॉस्ट नहीं आएगा, टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन आएगा, डिस्काउंट नहीं आएगा, कुछ भी नहीं आएगा इसमें चलन में. इनवॉइस में एवरीथिंग एल्स जस्ट सिमिलर टू योर परचेस ऑर्डर, उसमें टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन, पेमेंट का स्टेटस, कभी पे करना है, ओके, इफ इट इज इंस्टॉलमेंट, इंस्टॉलमेंट ड्यूज है या आपको कैसे मोड ऑफ पेमेंट करना है, okay, what are the terms and condition, what is the warranty, and everything is mentioned included in the purchase order or find the invoice bill. So therefore whenever you receive the invoice, the approval of the invoice indicated that goods according to the purchase order hai kya nahi hai, that you have to confirm. And on the basis of that, once it is approved, once it is approved the invoice, when all the goods checked by the receiving department, you always have to what is called as make the payment for the same. And the last stage is making the payments. That means once you approve the invoice, the payment is made to the supplier. Okay, that is second one. Okay, now students will see the store control in the next lecture. Okay, if you have the attendance, please share the link on the chat box.